In this short video, we're going to be looking at how to create tabs. Tabs are really useful for taking a flat piece of card and being able to make it stand up to create a 3D structure. And once children are confident making tabs and using tabs, they can use them for a whole variety of things. So the tools that we're going to use to create our tabs, we need our piece of card, we need our ruler, we need our scissors, we need a sharp pencil, and we need a set square. And as I mentioned in the last video, I always try and use the same tools that the children have got rather than pulling out my fancy scissors when they're just using the simple school ones. So I'm going to start off by creating the shape. And in this case, we're just going to make a screen. So I'm going to draw my first line. And you can see this time I'm leaving a bit of space at the bottom. That's because that's where my tabs are going to go. So I'm going to draw a 7 centimeter long line. As always, reiterate to the children that this first line, this baseline, is really important. If they can get that really accurate, the rest of the shape will go really well and be accurate. Use the set square to find the right angles. Again, place the set square along the baseline. Look at where, get the corner, the right angle just at the edge of the line. Put a little mark. I'm going to go on and do the same at the other side. All right, so set square on the baseline. Get the right angle up to the corner. And put a little mark up the side. Really good when you're demonstrating this to children, just to show them how you really take your time to get this as accurate as you can. We spend a lot of time talking in class about the more accurate our drawing is, the more accurate our cutting is, the more accurate our final shape is going to be. I'm now going to draw a 5 centimeter line up through that mark. All right, again, get that as accurate as possible. And the same on the other side, 5 centimeters through that mark, nice and accurate. And finish my rectangle off across the top, and this should be hopefully exactly 7 centimeters. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. So there's my shape. I now need to add the tabs on. We're going to do this shape with what we call integrated tabs, where the tabs are built into the shape. In this one here, this one is made with integrated tabs. You can see the tabs are part of the shape, whereas this one here, I'll show you in another video, this has additional tabs where I've had to make the tabs separately. Doing the tabs can just be freehand drawn. The size of the tabs you need depends really on what you're doing with the shape, how strong you want it to be. The larger the tabs are, the stronger the shape will be. There's my 2 tabs, freehand drawn. You can get the children to draw those with a ruler if they prefer. But they're easy enough to draw freehand because they don't need to be perfect. Again, scissors. So we talked in the last video about using scissors, and I'll just run over that again. Scissors held, thumb and middle finger. So the first finger sits on the top here and helps with the cutting. My cutting hand is always anchored on the table with my scissors facing forward, and I'm only really going to cut with the jaws of the scissors just here. So take your time with the cutting. Once you've drawn accurately, you want to cut accurately or you undo all that good work. Cut off the large bits of material first and get rid of those so you can work with a nice small bit of material, which means you can cut much more accurately. It's much harder to cut if you've got a large bit of material sort of waving around and getting in the way. So I do my first cuts. Now to cut the tabs out, I'm going to cut the 4 vertical lines, and I'm just going up and stopping where the edge of my shape is. So I'm going to do my first 4 cuts up, and then as I cut along the horizontal, hopefully these will just drop out. I can do that end, turn it round, my scissors are still facing forwards all the time and I'm turning the shape. All right, now to do the middle one, the tabs is a little bit awkward. We need to just squeeze the scissors through the side, twist the card. You'll see one of the tabs is kind of lifted, and I can cut that one. And that one did, I had cut that properly, so that one did just drop out. And there's my screen with my tabs. Now, we're not quite finished there. One of the things when you're working with cardboard that's really important is that before you start to fold the cardboard, before you fold it into any shape, is that you score the cardboard. Now, I've tried numerous scoring tools. Some of them end up just cutting the cardboard. Some of them don't score accurately enough. Some of them score too sharply. Some of them are too blunt. The best tool I have found is the sharp corner of the set square, or some children prefer to use the corner of a ruler. I'm not as keen on that because potentially it can damage the corner of the ruler, whereas this corner of the set square I'm not really using with the children, so I don't mind quite so much. I get them to hold their set square like a pencil. Usually I would get them to score along a line, so use the ruler here, and that gives them the line to score along. I'm going to score twice. The rule here is that the thicker the cardboard, the more you need to score it. So if you're using cardboard from, say, a Weetabix packet, that is like the Rolls-Royce cardboard of cereal packet cardboards, then you would need to score it 2 or 3 times to get a really clean score. And you'll see when I fold these now, these fold really, really sharply along where I've scored them. Now I'm going to fold them backwards. I'm going to fold them forwards. Okay, a little bit of squeezing. I can fold them again, and you can see there the cardboard, kind of the surface of the cardboard breaking. And we want the cardboard to break like that. We want it to kind of lose its integrity so we can get a cleaner fold. Now, I'm going to cut up the middle very carefully of each tab, and I can kind of feel the scissors sort of pop when they get to the middle. And that means I can fold 1 tab on each side forwards, 1 tab on each side back. And now my screen will stand up really nicely. Okay. That can now be, those tabs can now be glued down to a base plate. I'll show you that in the next video. And I can create with that, I can create walls, I can create screens, I can create little message boards. I can also create any shape that I like. So tabs like this can be used to create a whole variety of shapes. And once children can do it and make their tabs accurately, they can make all sorts of things. You can create simple optical illusions, such as this one, all cut out of a single piece of card. And you'll notice with this one is as the rectangles get smaller, so the tabs that I use get smaller. You can create really nice cityscapes like this one, with the bridge at the front and a little Empire State Building and some high-rise buildings. Okay, all made with tabs. You can create things like a castle, some trees, which are really simple shapes. My giraffe, which the children were very rude about, there. And finally, my under the sea scene, which again has tabs. And these are really good for children to practice doing tabs with, and practice playing about and just working on it. So for example, my octopus here, I was able to do 3 tabs on the end of 3 of its tentacles, and that was enough to hold it up. So it can be quite a good problem-solving exercise, letting children see where they need tabs, how they need tabs, how many tabs they need to hold their shape up.